Welcome back to Poetry and Props. Hope you're having a super great day. Probably got up this morning, had your breakfast, and now our little shows are appearing every day. You can go back and look at them thanks to our wonderful Mrs. Immerman. She's got them right on our little website thing that you can look them up. So that's so much fun. Hopefully you've been practicing a little bit, looking around the house for some things, and we're going to do a little bit every day. Mrs. Kolbe's going to do a few poems for you, and then we're going to pick 3 that we're going to learn this week. So the ones we started with were Treehouse. The other one is Hot Dog. I have a hot dog for a pet. And the last one is Polish the Stars. So we'll work on 3 of them. Next week, Mrs. Kolbe will still say all of the different poems, and then we'll go through those, and then we'll pick a few more to learn. So it'll be super fun. So today I'm going to teach you about a couple more that are fun. The first one's called Bear in There, and it's about opening your refrigerator door, your fridge, and there's a polar bear inside your refrigerator. And what would you do if that happened? In the classroom, even once we had somebody who brought in a giant polar bear, and we used one of the kindergarten refrigerators in their little housekeeping area, and we stuffed him in there, and it was kind of funny. But I don't have a refrigerator, and I do not have a polar bear. So we're just going to pretend. So here we go with Bear in There. Pretend you're opening the refrigerator. There's a polar bear in my frigidaire. He likes it because it's cold in there, with his seat in the meat, and his face in the fish, and his big hairy paws in our buttery dish. He's nibbling the noodles. He's munching the rice. He's slurping our soda. Oh, he's licking our ice. And he lets out a roar when you open that door. And it gives me a scare to know he's in there. That polary bear in our frigidaire. That's a fun one to do too. That'll be one that we'll pick up on. And another one that's so much fun, we might have to get Mr. Kolbe in doing this sometime, but it's called Remoto Dad. And Remoto Dad is about if you had a remote control that could control your parents, and you could push things and make them do whatever you wanted them to do. So this is super fun. If you have a brother or a sister, or your mom or dad, you can do the poem, and they can act out what the dad is supposed to be doing when you touch it. So this is how it goes. I'll go all the way through, and then I'll tell you what your person could be doing. Everybody has a remote control you can use, and we'll talk about what your person should be doing. So this is called Remoto Dad. It's just like a TV remote control, except that it works on fathers. You just push the thing that you want him to do, and he does it without any bother. You want him to dance? Push number 5. You want him to sing? Push 7. You want him to raise your allowance a bit? Simply push 11. You want him quiet? Just hit mute. 14 will make him cough. You want him to stop picking on you, yelling and telling you what not to do, stop bossing you for an hour or 2? Simply push power off. And for your person who's acting it out, sometimes don't we wish we had one of these for our parents? Probably not your parents, but some parents. So when it says that we want him to dance, push number 5. Your person over here is going la 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 la. And then when you push 7, you want him to sing. Your person can sing whatever they want to sing, but they just could go la 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 right when you push the button. It says if you want him quiet, just hit mute. And when we do these poems in my classroom, we have the person look like they're talking, but no voice comes out. Then when you say 14 will make him cough, of course they go and if you say you want him to raise your allowance a bit, you just put your hand out and they give you fake money or real money, and you say, "Thank you, Dad," and they say, "You're welcome." And then stop bossing you for an hour or 2. When you simply push power off, the dad goes and just stands like that. It's super fun to do. You want to try it one more time? How about I press the button, you pretend you're the dad, and you do all the things that I that I say that the dad will do. Okay? Ready to act out? You better stand up. Make sure that you're standing up. You're ready to go. Here we go. It's just like a TV remote control, except that it works on fathers. You just push the thing that you want him to do, and he does it without any bother. You want him to dance? Push number 5. Go ahead and dance. You want him to sing? Press 7. Do a silly song. La, 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 la. If you want him to raise your allowance a bit, simply push 11. Thanks, Dad. That's so nice of you. And you say, you're welcome, son. If you want him quiet, just hit mute. "14 will make him cough. If you want him to stop picking on you, yelling and telling you what not to do, stop bossing you for a minute or two, simply push power off. You should go. Isn't that so much fun? Wait till you get that one memorized. You'll say, Dad, can you come in here for just a minute? We're going to do some poetry. It'll be fun. Well, good. Those are 2 new ones that are super fun to do. Bear in There and Remoto Dad. I wish we could shout out. Mrs. Kolbe could go, when we're sitting in the library, I'll go, hey, which poem do you want to do? And they get to go, oh, Mrs. Kolbe, please, could we do Homework Machine? Or could we do Crocodile's Toothache? So maybe Mrs. Immerman could think up a way that we could have people type in their requests. Or maybe you could send me a request. And you know what else would be so fun? Is to videotape yourself doing these poems and send them to me. I would love to watch you doing that. It would just crack me up. They're so much fun to do. And it's so much more fun when it's not just me, but it's kids doing it, because we get on the karaoke machine and we just crack up and laugh. So hopefully when you're at home with your family, you can do them and look at each other and just crack up giggling. And that makes it like so much more fun. So we're going to do 3 that now we kind of know, but we're really going to try to get them memorized so that we can present them to anybody who wants to listen to us. That's the best part. So let's start with hot dog. Here's our little hot dog pet. And we have anything. You know what? I have another one at school that is just a dog toy. And I put a little leash on it that it would come around. And so we'll do hot dog. I have a hot dog for a pet. The strangest pet you've ever met. Oh, wait. I have a hot dog for a pet. It's the only kind my folks would let me get. He does smell sort of bad, and yet he absolutely never gets the sofa wet. We have a butcher for a vet, the strangest vet you've ever met. Guess we're the weirdest family yet to have a hot dog for a pet. How'd you do? Hopefully a little easier than yesterday. And remember, you can always go back and turn the video on again and just practice that poem and then back it up. Practice the poem, back it up, practice the poem. So let's try it one more time. I have a hot dog for a pet. It's the only kind my folks would let me get. Are you crinkling up your eyes and putting your hands up? Now get your nose in here. He does smell sort of bad, and yet he absolutely never gets the sofa wet. Point your fingers at yourself. We have a butcher for a vet, the strangest vet you've ever met. I guess we're the weirdest family yet to have a hot dog for a pet. How did you do with it? You sounded great to me. I think you're getting the hang of it. Don't forget about using your facial expression, your eyebrows, scrunching up your face, smiling, all those different things. And then getting your hands involved, your body leaning forward, leaning back. And then you want your voice to be a little involved, like when we do, he does smell sort of bad. Get kind of a scratchy voice, plug your nose. All those things just help to make your poem even better when you present. So that's good. The next one we did is a tree house. And a tree house, remember, we don't have a tree inside, so we're just pretending that we have a tree. And it goes like this. I'll do it all the way through, and then we'll slow it down so we can all do it. A tree house, a free house, a secret you and me house, a high up in the leafy branches, cozy as can be house. a street house, a neat house, a be sure you wipe your feet house. That's not my kind of house at all. Let's go live in a tree house, which would be so much fun if we could go in a tree house. You can't probably see it, but Dexter's walking through here. He likes these poems. He comes in and listens every day to them. Okay, let's try it together. We'll do just one part at a time. We'll do a tree house, a free house, a secret you and me house. Ready? Here we go. Put your hands up in the air. A tree house, a free house, a secret you and me house. Put your hands up. High up in the leafy branches, cozy as can be house. Make your arms all cozy. All right, let's start from the beginning again. A tree house, a free house, a secret you and me house. A high up in the leafy branches, cozy as can be house. Put your hands on your hips. A street house, a neat house, a be sure you wipe your feet house. That's not my kind of house at all. Let's go live in a tree house. How did you do with that one? So the second part of it is a street house. This is the kind of house you don't want to have. A street house, a neat house, a be sure you wipe your feet house. That is not my kind of house at all. Let's go live in a tree house. All right, let's try it one more time. Hello, I am Mrs. Kolbe, and I'm going to be presenting Treehouse. You can even do that for your kids. Well, hello, Dexter. Do you like Treehouse? Oh my goodness. He's coming in for a little pet. Okay, here we go. A tree house, a free house, a secret you and me house, a high up in the leafy branches, cozy as can be house, a street house, a neat house, a be sure you wipe your feet house. That's not my kind of house at all. Let's go live in a tree house. And you want that last line to sound kind of dreamy, like, oh my gosh, let's go live in a tree house. That was really great. I can't believe how quick you guys are catching on. That's amazing. Okay, our last one that we're going to work on for today is somebody has to, and it's about somebody has to go polish the stars. So if you found a jar or an imaginary jar, you could be standing like this holding the jar and nobody would know. If you find some kind of a rag or a paper towel or something like that, that's a good thing to do. And we want to pretend there's stars dangling up here. When we do this poem in my classroom, we have stars dangling. And I have a fake eagle and a starling and a gull hanging from the sky. And this is how it goes. Somebody has to go polish the stars. They're looking a little bit dull. Somebody has to go polish the stars, for the eagles and starlings and gulls have all been complaining. Here's your bird voice. They're tarnished and worn. They say they want new ones, but we cannot afford. So please, get your rags and your polishing jars. Somebody has to go polish those stars. How'd you do with that one? It's a fun one, and it's not too long, so it's easy to memorize. Let's start with the first line. Somebody has to go polish the stars. They're looking a little bit dull. And dull is kind of dingy, not very shiny, like twinkly like they normally are. So let's try that line. Somebody has to go polish the stars. They're looking a little bit dull. And get your face out, do kind of a crinkle face. They're looking dull. And then it repeats. Somebody has to go polish the stars. And here come the birds. For the eagles, point up at it, the eagles, and starlings, and the gulls have all been complaining. Get out your bird voice. You ready? You can have any kind of bird voice you want. They're tarnished and worn. They say they want new ones, but we cannot afford. So please, get your rags and your polishing jars. Put some polish on your rag. Somebody has to go polish those stars. How was that one? I think you sound terrific. I can't believe how quick you guys are getting these. Should we do it just one more time before we end? Okay, let's do it. Here we go, got our stuff. And each time you do it, you might want to try it a different way. You might want to use a different voice. You might want to try different faces because it's just so much fun. It doesn't have to be perfect and it doesn't have to be like anybody else's. Here we go. Somebody has to go polish the stars. They're looking a little bit dull. Somebody has to go polish the stars. For the eagles and starlings and gulls, they've all been complaining. They're tarnished and worn. They say they want new ones that we can't afford. So please, get your rags and your polishing jars. Somebody has to go polish those stars. Hooray! I am so proud of you. I can't believe 3 new poems that we'll work on all week. By Friday, you might be able to do a baby mini performance. You'll have 3 of them memorized. And maybe even as Mrs. Kolbe just repeats some of the fun ones and introduces some other ones that we're going to be working on, you might even get the hang of those too. So, hey, before we go, I have one more thing we're going to start doing. We are going to be doing, oh yeah, and for Ramoto Dad, you might, maybe if your dad has ties, you might even be able to go and get a tie and have your brother or sister dress up in a tie so they could look a little more dad-like if you wanted to. So that's just an idea. That's something we keep in our tub of dress-up things in the classroom, and now we keep it in the library. So it is going to be fun. So we're going to do a song today, and Mrs. Kolbe writes songs. I don't know if you know that, but I do little goobery songs that we sing, and usually to start our day in the classroom, we would sing one of these songs every day. The kids would pick them up and remember them. So this one is called I Am a Positively Fantastic Person. And it goes like this. I am a positively fantastic person, and I'm gonna have a great day. Yee-haw! I am a positively fantastic person. I'm gonna have a great day. Yee-haw! But it's a lot more fun when you have a whole classroom of kids or a whole group of kids, because we can really get our yee-haws going big. So it's not a big one, but it's just to remind yourself how fantastically wonderful you are, and just to sing about it. Every day you should be singing. Mrs. Kolbe sticks on her radio and does crazy dancing in the house during the day. So make sure you stick in some singing, some dancing, some poetry, and some reading. Should we try it again? Here we go. And you can be kind of wild and crazy. I'm here by myself, so it's harder to be wild and crazy, but you can be hopping and dancing and jumping, whatever you want to do. And when we get to the part about yee-haw, crank it out there. Unless your parents are working or on a special phone call, don't do that. But if nobody's around, give her a big yee-haw. Ready? Here we go. I am a positively fantastic person, and I'm gonna have a great day. Yee-haw! I am a positively fantastic person. I'm gonna have a great day. Yee-haw! All right, everybody. I hope you have a great day. You are fantastic. Mrs. Kolbe loves you bunches, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.